Hello my 2BDs, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought that I would show you my natural looking transfer resistant makeup for wearing a mask at work or wearing a mask out or wherever you're wearing a mask. I feel like we need stuff that is transfer resistant and can last on your skin with putting on a mask, taking off the mask, putting it on, taking it off. I feel like for myself, it has been a process to try and figure out what products to use, what's gonna be good, long lasting, and not wear too much specifically on my nose or around my mouth area when I'm wearing the mask. So I'm gonna be sharing with you some of the tips I've been doing for my own makeup for when I am wearing a mask for a long period of time and I want my makeup to still look great, but I don't wanna go like no makeup at all. So in this video, I am gonna gear things a little bit more natural looking, but I am still using liquid foundation, powder, like I'm still using all of the products that I normally use, but it's just gonna look a little bit more skin-like. It's gonna be less heavy on the makeup side. And I will share with you along the way the things that I would do instead if I wanted more of a very, very, very minimal makeup kind of look, just so you guys have that as well if you're interested in going more that route. But you guys, I'm gonna be potentially going back into school and that doesn't feel good. I need something that is going to last all day. I'm not gonna have to just sit and retouch every single time I take my mask off. And I know it's just gonna last a really long time anyway, you know, like it's just gonna look good for the most of the day and it's not gonna be too much makeup, because especially when you have the mask on, you have some bold eyes, like your eyes are what you're going to. You guys, like, okay, I don't have a mask down here, but if I'm looking like this, you're looking directly at my eyes, and that's kind of like the area that you focus on your face. So I don't want it to look too dramatic to be like, whoa, who is this person? I can't see half their face. But I want my makeup to look flattering and pretty and soft, and that's kind of what I'm gonna go for today. So if you're enjoying the video while you're watching, give it a thumbs up. Let me know if it's helpful for you guys, and if there's any other videos that you want me to film around this topic, because I feel like we're probably gonna be in this phase for a while, as we have been already. And be sure to subscribe because I do upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. First, I'm gonna start out with primer. This is the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer. I really like how this makes my skin look. It just makes my skin look very soft, very airbrushed. Now I am gonna be doing my whole face just in case there are times throughout the day that I need to take my mask off and I don't want just like half my face done. Now for foundation, these are the two that I just keep going back to. If you have one or the other, either one is gonna work fine. I'm probably gonna mix them today just because I like the finish of one, but I like the transfer resistantness of the other. This is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation, and I also have the Too Faced Born This Way Matte. Now this just recently launched, so if you don't have this and you wanna use this, that's totally fine. This is super long wearing and transfer resistant in itself, but then you add this on top and it just makes it last a little bit better. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix the two. I also really like how natural the L'Oreal foundation looks on the skin. The Too Faced one is definitely a little bit more full coverage. The trick with this is to not apply too much foundation. Now both of these foundations spread very easily, so you don't need too much to start out with. For this one, I'm also using a sponge because the sponge gives lighter coverage than a brush, and I think it looks more natural on the skin. All right, so now I have my base of foundation on. As you can see, you guys can still see some of my acne coming through. You can still see my skin through the foundation. It's not a 100% full coverage foundation. I'd say for a normal day, I'm comfortable with a like high medium or medium coverage foundation, but it just adds a little bit of coverage to the skin without looking too heavy. Still allows your skin to peek through, doesn't feel super heavy on the skin, and when you add the Too Faced foundation in, it does mattify a little bit more. So one thing that I've noticed is when I try to do like the no makeup thing with a mask, I end up being really oily at the end of the day, so I don't want that. And if you get really oily or dewy throughout the day, it is going to make your foundation a little bit more prone to transferring onto the mask because it's just going to slip right off. So I want a little bit more of a matte finish. Someone should count how many times I say mask in this video. Is it triggering yet? And I'm just going to go in with my CoverGirl Undercover Concealer. This is a good option from the drugstore. Gives some good coverage. The finish of it matches the finish of the rest of the skin. Some people like to do their concealer in like a V. I've always found, particularly with really full coverage concealers, you just don't need to do that because it's going to spread so quickly and cover really, really well. And like I said, the goal of this is to look put together and like you have a little bit of coverage, but not look like you have too much foundation and like makeup sitting on your skin. I'm gonna take my Wet n Wild translucent setting powder. You can use pretty much any powder you like. My favorite powders for mattifying the skin, for making my foundation wear longer, is this one, the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, and then the Maybelline Fit Me loose powder. And I'm gonna set everything down on my face. Like I said, you can still achieve this look with just using one or the other foundation. You don't need both. Because I am oily, I need to add in a little bit of a matte foundation, and the Too Faced one on its own is really, really long wearing. Here is how the skin is looking after applying the powder. I'm gonna take just my concealer again, add it to my eyelids as a base. Now you can also, I have this that I use very often. This is the NARS Longwear Pot Concealer, and I use this on days that I don't want a full liquid foundation powder concealer type of deal. So I'll just go in with this underneath the eyes and on the areas on my skin that need a little bit more coverage. Just use that, but like I said, because there's no like mattifying foundation or anything that is on the skin, it does tend to make me look oily, and then I find that it kind of rubs off on the mask. However, if you don't have oily skin, that's awesome. You probably don't need a mattifying primer or a mattifying foundation, but if you're gonna choose a foundation that's not matte, it's gotta be the L'Oreal Fresh Wear. Like, this is one of the most long-lasting foundations I have. We're gonna add in a little bit of bronzer. Now, you can pretty much use any bronzer that you want because it is going to cover most of your face. This is my mask for the little kiddos. It's a sloth, look at that. I'm pretty much just gonna do like a quick little bronzer situation. You don't need to go super heavy on the bronzer, at least on the cheeks, just because you're not even really gonna see it. You don't wanna forget bronzer on your temples though, because this is gonna help pull the look together, and it just helps like showcase that you have a little bit of warmth to your skin, especially when you can't see the half of your face that you normally have the warmth on your skin. So I try to make sure that I really put some on my temples. Oh, and I used the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer in the shade Luminous Bronze Light. Whoa, look at this. Ugh. For blush, you cannot go wrong with the Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush. I have the shade Party. These blushes are one of the longest lasting blushes I own. So if I'm gonna pick a long lasting blush, it's gonna be this. And this one is matte as well. So again, kind of helping keep the base matte here. Before we jump into highlight, I do want to take a little bit of this Hourglass bronzer and add it to the crease. I'm not going to do an intense eye look because, like I said earlier, it's just going to draw people's attention to your eyes more so than it would normally. Now, when you have a super dramatic eye, you usually like to pair it with a nude lip, something that's not going to overstimulate someone's senses when they're looking at you. But because of a mask, you can't really do that. And a lot of us have really bold masks, like, you know, very colorful. And so you don't want to have a colorful mask and then have also a very bold, distracting eye look, because then I don't know, I feel like it just, I've gotten so many comments when I'm wearing a mask about my eye makeup because people are just drawn to that area on your face. It's what stands out the most when you're wearing a mask. So I personally like to have something a little bit more low key so that it doesn't clash with my masks that I'm wearing. And I'm gonna add that underneath as well. For highlight, I'm gonna go in with the Urban Decay Afterglow highlight in the shade Sin. Now I picked this because I do really like the champagne kind of white gold look to the highlight. So this is gonna add a little bit of something. You could also go in with like the Essence really affordable kind of subtle highlight. I don't want something to be super dramatic on the skin, and I only put just a touch on my nose because this is going to make your nose look a little bit more oily and could just like transfer on your mask anyway. So I'm mainly going to be focusing it on my cheekbones, and I'm going to take a tiny little brush. This is gonna help make you look awake. And I'm gonna take it, put it on the inner corner of your eye. See how that just, this side looks more awake and kind of open than this side. So normally I would go in with a little bit more of a dramatic eye look, right? But using this as a pop, it just makes your makeup look a little bit more natural, softer, and you're a little bit more awake looking, which I feel like is good. It's hard, really, really hard to read people's emotions, read people's anything when a mask is on. But when I have this, I feel like it just makes me look a little bit more like approachable when someone's walking up to me or whatever. My eye makeup looks very soft, natural, and flattering. I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyebrows real fast. This doesn't matter as much because your eyebrows are never gonna be touched by the mask unless you're wearing it on your eyes. You do you. I'm gonna take my CoverGirl brow pencil in the shade Soft Brown. Again, I'm not going for super dramatic brows. I just want a little bit of filling in, make them look whole. Not going for that super like cut thing. I just want a little bit of color. Also, when you're wearing a mask, I don't know if you have that same experience, but for me, I feel very uncomfortable when I'm wearing a mask. I feel like I am in fight or flight most of the time, you know, kind of like scanning the environment for danger. That's just what our bodies normally do. And when you have a mask on, you're kind of like doing it on hyperdrive. Your senses are going into overdrive because they cannot easily sense out what is safe and what is dangerous. It just makes it harder for your body to know what is happening in your environment and if you're safe or not. So that's another reason why I don't want to go too bold on the makeup, because like if someone was feeling the way that I felt and they were looking at me, I don't want me to feel like a threat or feel overwhelming when someone is already feeling overwhelmed just having the mask on and trying to interact with people. I'm gonna take my Milani Clear Brow Gel. This is a really good one. I find it kind of similar to the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel in terms of setting down your brows. Keeps them in place for a decent amount of time throughout the day. And you gotta remember, I'm working with little kids. Like they're already gonna be feeling odd, feeling off, and feeling nervous, and I do not want the way I'm appearing to seem in any way overwhelming. That's kind of why I'm using the products that I'm using in this video. Now is the step that I am going to add my setting spray. So this type of setting spray is so important. I really love the Urban Decay De-Slick. Now this is the all-nighter, but it is the de-slick version. So it's going to help keep your makeup on for a very long time. It's not going anywhere, and it's gonna help keep you matte. So that's like what I really love about this as well. I use this before I go in with my mascara because I find that whenever I apply mascara and then I apply setting spray on top of it, it just weighs down my lashes. So I like to save that for after I apply this. But now that everything is on the skin, this is a total game changer. If you don't believe in setting sprays, you haven't tried this one, because it just elongates the wear of my makeup, helps it not sink into fine lines, keeps me matte, everything that I would ever want from a setting spray. I know I can apply this and have my makeup look good for the entire day until I get home, especially if I have long days. I want to use a setting spray like this. And this is what is going to help the makeup that you just applied not transfer onto your mask. So then I'm gonna go in with my mascara using my normal CoverGirl LastBlast Fusion mascara. And my mascara, I usually build up pretty good because it's like the only dramatic thing on my skin. I don't have crazy eyeshadow on or anything. And I add some to my lower lashes as well. I don't go in with an eyeliner. I just kind of don't need to for an everyday look. This look is also really good if you wear blue light glasses. Like blue light, you know, they're all over everywhere, Amazon. I actually just got a set for myself, and I do notice that they don't give me headaches like when I wear them as often as if I didn't wear them. So I am excited about that. You can find them pretty cheap on Amazon. But if you have a transfer resistant makeup routine like I'm showing you today, it's going to help not just with the mask, but also with those glasses when they, you know, leave a little mark. You can totally end the look here. You do not need to add anything to your lips. Your lips are not going to be showing through the mask. But when I wear a mask, I notice that my lips get dry because I'm not drinking water. I'm not like replenishing my body as much as I would if I wasn't wearing a mask. And so I like to put a little bit of lip balm on my lips, not a ton and not something that is going to be super sticky. So I'm going to go in with the NARS Afterglow Lip Balm in the shade Orgasm, because this is a very buttery, soft, not sticky at all kind of lip balm that adds a little color to your lips, but it's not like a lip gloss. It's not like a lip mask where it is going to really rub off on your mask. And I just take a little napkin, kind of rub off some of it, but then I have this nice buttery feeling on my lips that's not going to transfer onto the mask like it would if I was wearing a lip gloss or something. But here's the finished makeup look. So as you can see, it looks nice, simple, soft, blurring, matte, all those things. And when you put a mask on, it is not going to transfer nearly as much as it would if you did not use these products. I'm gonna use a fresh one here. I'll put my mask on. And I do have the little nose thing here in the mask. And go ahead and take it off. See, it doesn't remove the foundation on your nose. Now, if you are doing this like 10, 11, 12 times throughout the day, it's likely that it's probably gonna rub off a little bit, but at least here, like you can't really see the nose line of the mask. And at the tip of my nose especially, it does rub off. So when I do this, I notice it doesn't rub off as much. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed the tips that I gave you, and I hope that they're helpful, especially if we don't want to stop wearing makeup just because we got to wear a mask. We got to kind of adjust our game a little bit to be able to have makeup that is going to last a little bit longer. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.